Good day, everyone. It's Neville Philpotts here coming to you again. I'm your host. Um, I can be found on YouTube as Never P. Welcome back to the Voice of the Continent, where we're going to dig into the truth beneath the African headlines. I'm your host, Neville Philpotts. Today episode, uh, we're going to ask a deep question, an honest question. Can Africans understand each other even though we speak different languages? Let's be real. Africa is the home for over 2,000 languages. That sounds like a recipe for confusion, but in truth, the story move the story is more layered and more unified than it seems. Many outside said Africa is too divided by language. I beg to differ, but here's what they're excuse me, missing or ignoring. And to bring to you an example of recent past. A couple weeks ago, there was a call, or it was implied that there was a call that the US, the United States government, wanted to get rid of Abraham Traore. And within minutes, there was a groundswelling of support for Ibrahim Traore. People from Ouagadougou, Cape Town, South Africa, Cairo, Egypt, the Caribbean, Jamaica, London, Germany, worldwide, Africans came out in support of Traore. Even though we could not understand, well, most of us could not understand, who don't speak French, understand what he was saying, or what the people of Burkina Faso were saying. But yet, we were able to communicate with him, and he could be able to communicate with us. And you had a groundswelling of people worldwide come out in support of Traore. Africa, as far as I'm concerned, doesn't just have different languages. It has a shared language family. For example, the Bantu language stretches from Cameroon all the way to South Africa. The Afrostanic language are spoken in Somali, from Somali to Morocco. Neo Saharan people from Sudan to Uganda. Even Creole and the Pygmy helps bridge modern communication in Nigeria, Sierra Leone, and the Caribbean. I know because I know people who speak Pygmy in Jamaica. I remember when I was a young child growing up around my family, around grown adults, and they didn't want me to hear what they were saying. They would switch to speaking Pygmy. So we speak the same language. Our forefathers brought the language over, even though majority of us speak majority. Well, all people in Jamaica speak English and Patois, and Patois is a combination of a whole lot of different languages combined together. Some Chinese stuff is in there, some mostly Africans and Indian stuff is mixed into the Patois. And so I'm saying when I think about this, I'm saying we might be speaking a different tongue, but one of the things that we can communicate with is our body language. I listen to Traore on TV speaking his French. I have no idea what he's saying in French, but looking at him, I can feel it and I can interpret what he's saying. And I don't know how to speak French. I can't interpret everything, but I have a good gist of what he's saying. So I'm saying that we speak a different tongue, but our body language are basically saying the same thing. Let's look at an era, close to 100 years ago, 80 years ago. The Harlem Renaissance, where Black intellectuals would come together from the Caribbean, from Africa, from the United States, and create a movement. Out of that movement came the Pan-African movement, came the Garveyism, Martin Luther King movement, all those movements, Black people that Blacks had in those days mostly came out of the Harlem Renaissance by our music, by our poem, our dance, all of that was creating signal as a revolution. And that brought Black folks together in the United States, in Jamaica, my country, Kingston, to start pressing for freedom out of that Harlem Renaissance. And people in Africa, the Kwame Nkrumah, Patrice Lumumba, those folks, they didn't speak the language we spoke here in the United States or in Jamaica, but they could understand us. The music was saying something to them. The art was saying something to them. And it united us. We have proverbs, storytelling, and those things echo across borderlines. So we have a lot of way in communicating with each other without we speaking the same language. To draw onto something, a music, that was created in Jamaica, reggae music. If you go into Ghana, Nigeria, Senegal, Burkina Faso, across Africa, reggae and the Jamaican patois is very much alive in those countries and across Africa. But Jamaicans and those Africans, we don't speak the same language, but yet they understand us through the music. So my thing is that we have a spiritual connection that transcends all borders. We were given that spiritual connection from our Creator. We have been through so many things, but yet, if we're in Jamaica, we're in the United States, like I am in Baltimore, and something is going on in Africa, and you hear a speaker speaking, he might be speaking in French or Portuguese. We can might not be able to understand everything he's saying, but by listening to him and his or him or her body language, we can feel it and we can interpret. Not 100%, but we can interpret what they're saying through the body language. I guess it's a spiritual connection for us as Black people because we've been through so much. We're being abused so much and so many times. But we have endured all the abuse. It led me to believe that we are the chosen ones. And science is now proving that all races across the world came from Africa, spring out of Africa. It was Africans who went across this world and populated the world. Africans from out of Africa. You know, it's so when people say, oh, if you say you're going to Africa, why you want to go to Africa? You don't speak their language. You have nothing in common with them. Yes, we do. We have a whole lot of things in common with them than you will ever know. So the language or the tongue doesn't separate us. I know if I go to Africa today, I speak English and Jamaican patois. And I guarantee you, within a couple of days, me being there, I'll be able to start picking up in what they're saying and they'll be able to understand what I'm saying. So language has nothing to do with us. The language doesn't separate us as Africans. And one thing I want to say before I go, please learn about your history as a Black man are as a people, as a person. Learn where we came from and where's home. There's so many things going on in the United States now. But if the Africans didn't leave Africa, the West would not have its people. Europe would have no one there. If the Africans, China would have no one there. They now prove that the first tribe, first set of people that it was in Africa, was in China, was out of South Africa. I think they said it was the Korea people. They went into China and populated China. And because of the climate, their features changes, their hair quality, our hair texture changes. But if you look at the Korea people and you look at the Chinese, you see a great resemblance. So, we need to start realizing that embrace each other. I don't care if you're white, black, or yellow. We need to start embracing each other because we all are from the same people. We all came from the same country. Our ancestors, it might be 15 generation, 20 generation down the line, but we all came out of Africa. It was said that it was the Moors from out of Africa went into Europe and liberated Europe. The richest man in the world that ever, even today, was from out of the Mali Empire, Mansa Musa. So we have so much culture that was taken away from us and repurposed into other culture. And when you go to that other culture and you listen to them, you can feel it. And when you speak, they can feel it because they know we're the same culture, we're from the same people. So again, back to this thing about can we understand our brothers and sisters in Africa without speaking the same language? My personal opinion, I will resoundingly say yes. But my folks, my friends, if you're watching and continue watching, please like this channel. Please subscribe and share with your friends and family to help me build this channel. Again, thank you and God bless.